People, one of their biggest pain points in life is relationships, and it's difficult, it's cumbersome, because what's happening in a relationship is you're going from the pronoun of I need stuff, I want that, I'm here, this is my career, this is where I'm headed, this is my aspirations, my goals, my dreams, and you're moving from all those pronouns of me to we. And this is difficult for so many people. It's difficult for me, because what we're saying about our view in life is it's not about the way that I view things, it's about how we view things. It's not about what I want, it's about what we want. And yes, you're still an individual. I'm not saying that you glom together and become one. What I'm saying though is that we need to look together and do things and accomplish things together. And so that's a very, very poignant relationship that becomes extremely important and become extremely volatile. For a lot of people, it can either make or break their entire life, right? So I think about some of the greats that literally their muse became that significant other that they eventually then married. And like their muse from a standpoint that got them to that next level, it got them to higher heights because they found purpose in that individual, and they found unconditional love from that other person. And it's extremely difficult to get to that point. But I'd say in like every relationship, work, personal, it's always going to come down to communication. What's bothering you? Let me know. Let me not be defensive. And how do we communicate going forward? It's in work. I don't see things eye to eye like you do on this project, on that timeline, on that budget. I'm willing to, though, figure out how we can continue to hit these things and move forward. It's at work. I'm sorry, Jim, but guess what? You're just totally not cutting the mustard. You either have to improve in the next 90 days, or we're going to have to let you go. And here's the things that we need to improve you on. Bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. These 5 things. If we see the changes in these 5 things, Jim, guess what? In 30 days, we'll have a great conversation, and we'll throw this out. And we don't want to worry about the 90-day review. But this is where we're at. And so many times for a lot of people, the communication is so difficult. And I think the biggest problem is because we're not listening. And number 2 is we're so concerned about us being right. People want to be right all the time on whatever they're talking about. They can't I've heard people literally correct other people because they were 0.1 off on a percentage. Who cares about that 10th percent? You can correct that person behind closed doors. There's no point in embarrassing them that they didn't know it was 5.2 instead of 5.1. It's not that big of a deal. And so people get so stuck in having to be right all the time, they don't actually listen to the other person's perspective. 2 ears, 1 mouth, let's use it in that ratio. And listening isn't waiting to talk. So many times people are like, I can never remember people's names. It's because the moment that you asked their name, you were already thinking about the next question to ask them. So when they told you that their name was Samantha, all that you heard in your mind was, I wonder what school she went to. She kind of looks familiar. And then she says Samantha, and you go, okay, hey, so what school did you go to? You leave that conversation literally going, oh my gosh, what was that girl's name? Oh, hopefully she gave me a business card. And so many times that happens to people on a continual basis because they're not actually listening, right? Parent comes home from work, they're talking to the child, and then the child says something, the parent doesn't even pick up on it because they're so busy doing something else or trying to have 2 conversations at once. Guess what? Multitasking is a myth. Be a unitasker. Be a uniconversationalist. If I'm talking to Jimmy, you got my attention. What's going on? I'm not looking here. I'm literally looking at you, Jimmy. Jimmy, how can I help you? What's going on in your life? Let me listen. The pause is extremely powerful. The pause needs to be fully utilized in communication better. Listening needs to be more active. Communication is not just talking. So many times we think about the words that are coming out of our mouths that we don't actually listen for the feedback from others. It's so critical in relationships to hear what the other person's saying and to not correct them if they're wrong. Allow the conversation to still flow. I think it's important. Sherman's out.